At Raju Law, we don't just provide legal services, we provide a pathway to your American dream. With offices in New York, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Dhaka, and Dubai, our global team is dedicated to delivering personalized immigration solutions. Whether you are pursuing a green card or navigating complex immigration processes, we are here to guide you at every stage. With a team of 10 associate attorneys and more than 180 law clerks and case managers, we craft solutions tailored to your unique needs. Our technology-driven platform ensures the fastest, most efficient service, saving your time while upholding the highest standards of quality. At Raju Law, we believe in affordable, transparent pricing without compromising on service excellence. Raju Law, where your American dream meets expert legal support. Contact us today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sanjay Kadola, one assistant deputies at Raju. I'll be your host today for today's session. It's wonderful to see our audience joining us from all corners of the globe. If you're watching us live on Facebook or YouTube, to say hi in the comments and tell us where you're tuning in from. Today's topic is one that many travelers and applicants find both important and challenging. Invest, innovate, immigrate. E-2 visa for businessmen. The E-2 visa allows eligible nationals of treaty countries to invest in the US and run their own business. Today, we'll explain the key requirements and help investors understand how to successfully apply. To guide us through this process, we have an exceptional guest today with us, Attorney Raj Mahajan. Mr. Mahajan is the founder and principal attorney of Raju Law. Mr. Mahajan, it's wonderful to have you with us here today. I can imagine your week has been full with consultations and mentorship sessions. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. Thank you very much, Dola, for joining me this morning. I know that I think the internet is a little weak from your end, but I'm pretty sure our audience, they understood everything that you said.
Thank
So,
you. That's great to hear. And
so yeah, without further delay, let me take over. I think because the internet connection from your end is not very good, so let me take over. Thank you very much. I would like to show the PowerPoint. Yeah, thank you so much. So as Dola was talking, she was telling. So our today's topic is E2 visa. Invest, innovate, and immigrate. This is a very beautiful the title. But today we're going to talk about E2 visa. This is a really, really good topic. And the reason is many of you know that our current administration, our current president, Donald Trump, he is a very business kind of person. He likes, entrepreneurs, he like investment. And America is kind of opening door for foreign entrepreneurs to invest in America and get immigration benefit. So that's why we're talking about E2 visa today. Let me go to the second slide. By the way, this presentation, it is, you can see that in our YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, all platform. Also the audio version, you can listen to it, excuse me, from our Apple and Spotify podcast. So those who have podcast access, you can also get our presence in Apple podcast and Spotify podcast too. So first, what is the E2 treaty investor visa? E2, excuse me, I have a little coffee. I think it's because of the cold. E2 allows citizens of treaty countries to live and work in the US through investment. Here, the tricky part is the treaty countries. Not all countries are treaty countries. So, before you start studying E2 visa or investing in America or anything, please make sure that your country of origin is a treaty country. And the country, what is, your country will determine your country of birth. So if for US immigration, your country of birth would be will determine like your country kind of things. Also, investor must own or control a US business. So you, if you want to invest under E2, you must own or control a US business. Visa category, it will be non-immigrant temporary visa. I'm pretty sure all of you know what is, non-immigrant visa, what is immigrant visa. I'm not going the details into that discussion here because that's a topic for another discussion. Also, supports both new and existing businesses. So under E2, it can be a both new business, you're starting a new business, or you're buying an existing business to run and operate the business. That is also eligible under E2 visa. Who can apply for an E2 visa? This is a very good question. So investor must be a national of a treaty country. So you must be a national of that country, have invested or be actively investing a substantial amount of capital, enter the US to develop and direct the business. Business must be a real and operating enterprise. So this is very important because a lot of time people ask me, hey, if I just open a business in America, if I go to America with the E2 visa, do I need to run the business? The answer is yes. Yes, it must be a real and operating enterprise. It cannot be just paper business. Have profit making potential beyond minimum living expenses. So it must be a profit generating business. And I can tell you one thing: America is literally the best place in the world to run a business and make money. It's literally best place. So don't worry about that part. This is very easy to do. What countries as a what counts as a substantial investment? No fixed amount required by law. There is no fixed amount for E2 visa. Must be proportionate to total business cost. Also should be sufficient to ensure success of the business. Must be at risk and irrevocably committed to the enterprise. So a lot of people, they misunderstand this at risk word. They think, oh, I have to take some business that must be like a risky business. That's not true. So at risk is a very generic word. Pretty much any business in this world is at risk. There is no 100% guarantee for any business, right? So that is the fundamental nature of a business. So any business is at risk. Therefore, like pretty much any business you can apply for any business. And do not think too much about the word at risk. It is not that a risky endeavor. It's a comparatively safer endeavor. Common practice, typically above $100,000, varies by business type and industry, of course. Even like I saw some like $30,000, $40,000 investment and got approved for E2. But $100,000 is kind of like a magic number. If you invest above $100,000, that's really better for you. All right, proving a lawful source of investment. This is really important. So funds must be lawfully obtained and traceable. This is really important. Like the fund you're going to invest in America, that must be lawfully obtained and traceable. Acceptable source, like for example, savings, sale of property, inheritance, lawful gift, etc., must provide bank records showing transfer to US business accounts. So, like it must be a bank transfer. It must be legal. There must be a legal channel for a business. It cannot be like a random, like some other shady way. You cannot do that. USCIS must clearly see the path of funds. USCIS must see the path, where the money is coming from. So this is important. Real and operating enterprise. So this is very important. So the business must be active and producing services or goods, not a passive investment. It cannot be passive investment. Like for example, stock market investment. That's a passive investment. You cannot claim E2 visa based on a investment in US stock market. You cannot do that. Similarly, let's say you bought a house and you rent it out to someone else and you are taking like a monthly rent. That is not applicable under E2 visa. So because those are like a passive investment, there must be active investment, active business, active operation. Must have business registration, LLC or corporation, lease agreement or commercial location, required licenses and permits, operating agreements, invoices, payroll if applicable. Startup businesses are acceptable if operations are ready to commerce. It cannot be just an idea. A lot of time, like young entrepreneurs, they come up with like a very unique idea and they want to apply for E2. It cannot be just a simple idea. You must have a registration, LLC or corporation registration. You must have a lease agreement. Another common mistake people do, they show online business. Oh, I'm going to America and do online business. You will not get E2 visa for online business, that's for sure. It must be a like a brick and mortar store. Here in America we call brick and mortar store, meaning there must be like a physical location. You must have like a lease agreement, and must have a commercial location. You must have required licenses and permits. So this is another important thing. Like if you want to open a restaurant, you must have like a certain licenses and permits from the city or the county where you're doing it. On the other hand, other businesses, for example, if you want to sell some like a clothes, like shirts, pants, like shari or like lehenga kind of things, then you may not need all these licenses and permits. But what about the businesses? If there is any necessary license and permits, you must have those things. And also operating agreements, invoices, payroll, if that is applicable. Payroll is for employees. If you have employees, you must have payrolls kind of things. But I think you get like a big picture idea, right, what we're talking about. Marginally and economic impact. The enterprise cannot be marginal. It cannot be like a very small, so small kind of business. It must have capacity to generate income significantly above the investor's living expenses and create job for US workers within 5 years. So you must create job for US workers within 5 years. You do not need to generate a job from day one. You have 5 years, and also there's no minimum number. You can generate just one job. That's okay. But all it all I'm trying to say is that it must be a genuine business. It cannot be like a fake business. Supported by 5-year business plan showing projected growth and employment. Who else can benefit from an E2 visa? Employees, of course, must share some nationality as the investor and serve in executive, supervisory, or essential skill roles. The spouse and children under 21 eligible for derivative E2 status. The spouse may apply for a work authorization card. Children can attend school in the US. There's no problem with that. Um, Avoid these common E2 mistakes. So this is really important. Those who are watching now, please pay attention. This is really important. Marginality. Failing to demonstrate that the business has the present or future capacity to generate significant income beyond the investor's salary. So you have to show that this business has serious future to generate money beyond the investors basic salary kind of things. Borrowed funds, using undocumented loans or money secured by the assets of the business itself, it's not enough. You cannot do that. Incomplete investment, not showing that the funds are actually committed and actually deployed into the business. That's another excuse me, another common reasons for denial in E2 applications. So this is our social media platform. We are very proud to say that we are present in all social media, like Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, Pinterest, pretty much everywhere. Wherever you go, we are with you. Our IT team is very capable of having our presence. Now the time for questions. I'm going back to Dola.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mahajan, for that detailed and insightful presentation. We'll take a quick 1 to 2 minute break before moving on to our Q&A session. Stay tuned, everyone.
Are you a leader in your field, an innovator, artist, scientist, or entrepreneur? You may qualify for the prestigious EB-1A Extraordinary Ability Visa, your fast track to a U.S. green card with no job offer required. At Raju Law's Dhaka office, we specialize in building powerful EB-1A petitions tailored to your achievements. With expert attorneys, global experience, and a tech-powered process, we bring U.S. immigration success to your doorstep. Your extraordinary talent deserves an extraordinary path. Let Rajula Dhaka open the door to your American dream. Book your consultation today.
I cannot hear anything from Dola. I think the internet connection is still not good. And I also don't see any question here in the screen. So our IT person, what we should do?
Hello, can I play our weekly immigration news?
Yes. Let's end our. So before that, so hello audience. I really apologize for these technological, issues. You understand. So let's close our session today. I'll talk. I'll answer all of your questions next Monday. But before that, we are playing our weekly immigration news update. Thank you. Yeah, please, IT person, please play. Thank you.
Hi everyone, welcome to this week's immigration update from Raju Law. We bring you the latest news, USCIS updates and policy changes that matter. This week's top stories include DHS strengthens integrity in immigration system, Padma Lakshmi champions, immigration through food. Republicans sound alarm over Latino vote decline, US pays $7.5 million to Equatorial Guinea for deportee acceptance. Let's begin with the DHS reforms. DHS strengthens integrity in immigration system. On November 13, 2025, USCIS announced major reforms including ending TPS for Afghanistan and Venezuela, tougher naturalization rules, expanded fraud checks, more social media vetting, and a new $100,000 fee for H-1B petitions. The agency says these changes aim to protect U.S. workers and improve system integrity. Now, a cultural story with a strong immigration message. Padma Lakshmi champions immigration through food. Padma Lakshmi's new cookbook, Padma's All-American, highlights immigrant communities as the backbone of American cuisine. Born in India and naturalized after 50 years in the U.S., she left Top Chef in 2023 to focus on advocacy with the ACLU. The book builds on her Emmy-nominated series, Taste the Nation, moving to U.S. politics and voter trends. Republicans sound alarm over Latino vote decline. Republicans are worried after Latino voters shifted back toward Democrats in recent off-year elections. Exit polls show Democratic governors-elect in New Jersey and Virginia winning 68% and 67% of Latino votes, a 25-point swing from 2024. Representative Maria Elvira Salazar called it a wake-up call. And finally, a controversial international deal. U.S. pays $7.5 million to Equatorial Guinea for deportee acceptance. The Trump administration paid $7.5 million from refugee assistance funds to Equatorial Guinea to accept U.S. deportees. The first time such funds were used this way. Senator Jean Shaheen called it highly unusual, given corruption and human rights concerns under President Teodoro Obiang, in power for 46 years. That wraps up this week's immigration updates. Stay connected with Raju Law for more news, insights, and guidance. See you next week with the latest developments in U.S. immigration.